Let's face it, cruise disembarkation day isn't supposed to be fun. However, you do want to end your cruise on a high note, and you want to avoid those potential mistakes that can cause you problems long after your cruise is done. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, we plan for a lot of things when it comes to going on our cruise, but the one day that who wants to think about it, disembarkation day, well, we don't usually give it that much thought, but that is really the day that if we don't plan for, if we don't do certain things, we really could have a miserable end to our cruise. Now, whether you're a first-time cruiser or you've cruised before and you need a little bit of a refresh because things do change over the years, what I'm going to be doing in this video is going over 10 mistakes that you absolutely want to avoid when it comes to debarkation day. And I am also going to be going through like a few really good tips when it comes to self-disembarkation or traditional disembarkation, whichever you choose. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one mistake to avoid, and this is for all cruisers, is only checking your final invoice on debarkation morning. This is not the time that you want to find out that maybe there were overcharges or any other mistakes that were made on your bill. At that point, you'll have to go to guest services, and you'll notice that the line is often long on debarkation morning. Now, ideally, the best thing is to keep an eye on your invoice during your cruise, but at the very least, do check it on the last day of your cruise, and even the last night of your cruise. Just do a quick once over just to make sure that everything is in order. At least if you do have to either go and dispute a charge or even just have a clarification of a charge, you can do that before debarkation morning. Number two, booking too early a flight home on debarkation day. Now, obviously, this is something that you actually need to take care of at the time that you book your flight or even when you book your cruise. But by booking too early a flight home on debarkation day, while you won't be sitting around at the airport on debarkation day, what might happen is you might actually miss your flight, and that is a problem in itself. Now, a way to avoid this is to actually check with your travel agent or the cruise line as to their recommended time for what is the earliest flight that you should book going home. And you want to take into account what time the cruise ship is set to dock, what time you may be able to get off the cruise ship, transportation to the airport, how long a time you need before checking in for your flight. And if you do have an international flight, you do want to allow some extra time as well. Now, if you really want to be safe, a good rule of thumb is to book an afternoon flight. Most of the time, those should be safe. Number three, this one might seem like a little bit of a funny mistake, but it definitely isn't something that you want to deal with. So when it comes to packing up at the end of your cruise, you don't really want to pack up the bathrobes that may have been lent to you to use during your cruise. If you do pack those up, put them in your suitcase, then you may get a surprise charge when you get off your cruise ship. So that is definitely not something you want to pack up. Now, the other thing to kind of watch for as well are towels. So on some cruise ships, you're going to have towels by the pool that are accounted for. So you have a sign in and a sign out system. So something that I like to do just to make sure that, well, that all the towels have been given back, that there are no outstanding towels that are remaining, is I will go over to the towel station. So for instance, on Royal Caribbean where they have this, and just make sure that I have given back all my towels, that there is no issue. And usually if you do catch something then they can actually rectify it. Number four, packing up last minute. Now, something that you don't want to do is leave your packing for debarkation morning. Now, just something to mention is you have to vacate your cabin pretty early. Usually it's by 8 a.m. So you really don't have a lot of time to pack up that morning, and you'll already be getting up pretty early because you do want to be prepared. Maybe you want to have breakfast before you go. So you don't want to leave your packing for the very last minute. Now, by the way, if you want to keep organized and make sure that you don't make any of these debarkation day mistakes, I do have a debarkation day checklist that is part of the Ultimate Cruise Planner. Now, the Ultimate Cruise Planner is a 47-page downloadable printable cruise planner that will help you to keep organized with cruise embarkation forms, packing lists, debarkation forms, cruise outfit planners, and more. If you are interested in the Ultimate Cruise Planner, I'm going to leave all of the information linked down below in the description of this video in case you do want to check it out. Number five, now this is honestly a mistake that I've seen many people make over the years. They've really regretted it. This is choosing self-disembarkation when they're not able to self-carry their luggage. Now, obviously, if you can carry your own luggage, if you really haven't packed very much, if you maybe have a small carry-on bag and a knapsack, you can probably do self-disembarkation. I will share a few tips when it comes to that, but if you're not able to carry off your own items, maybe even downstairs because the elevators are usually very busy, this is definitely not a very good choice for you. Now, when it comes to self-disembarkation, I do have two very good tips that I think you're going to find helpful. These were shared with me and I'm going to share them with you. Number one is, if you are actually carrying your own luggage off, you should avoid the back elevators, so the aft elevators that are closer to the buffet, and the midship elevators, but you can go right to the front elevators, the forward elevators. Those are less likely to be used. And the other important tip is let your cabin attendants know that you are going to be doing self-carry. So this way they are not going to be waiting for your luggage. They're not going to be reminding you to put your luggage out. They will know in advance. Now, please let me know if you do self-disembarkation. Please let me know any tips you have in the comments below. Number 6, now this is a traditional disembarkation mistake. It is not changing your luggage tags. So a lot of people assume when they get their luggage tags, their luggage color, their grouping, that this is what they've been assigned and this is what you have to keep. But this is not the case. So if you have a late flight and maybe you have a very early disembarkation time, maybe it's at 8 a.m. or 7:50 or something like that, and you actually have a late flight or no reason that you want to get off very early, you could change your luggage tag. You can ask what is the latest that you can get off, and you can get off maybe at 9 o'clock or even at 9:30. Now, another mistake to avoid when it comes to self-disembarkation is not keeping one of your luggage tags. If you keep one of your luggage tags, you will know, for instance, it may be purple 23 or red number 9. You want to know where you can find your luggage when you do get off the cruise ship, because there are likely going to be a lot of suitcases, and if you don't remember your luggage grouping, it's a little bit like not remembering where you parked your car in a big parking lot. Number 7, not checking out the breakfast options on disembarkation morning. Now, I know I've been guilty of this in the past. I just like to get off the cruise ship, so I don't even really check out where can I eat, what can I do, but there are different options available. So some of the options might be room service. That can be very convenient. You can also go just to the cafe and maybe pick up a coffee to go back to your cabin, maybe finish any of that last minute, sort of just picking up a couple of the things in your cabin, have a light breakfast there, or sometimes you can go to the main dining room. Now, on our last cruise, we went to the main dining room because we had a late flight and we had a late disembarkation time. So we were able to actually sit down for about 45 minutes or an hour, have a nice leisurely breakfast. I have to say, this was probably one of the nicest disembarkation mornings that we've ever had. Number 8, not doing a really good clean sweep, a really good check of your cruise cabin, and basically leaving things on the cruise ship, well, after you disembark. It is very hard to get things back after you get off the cruise ship. Not impossible, but I know a lot of people who have just lost things forever when they have done that. Now, we've actually left by mistake. My son left some running shoes. He remembered that after the fact that he had sort of put them under the curtain next to the desk in the little corner. There are these nooks and crannies that you may place things while you're on your cruise. So make sure that you check the nooks and crannies, check the safe. That is a big place that a lot of people leave things like glasses, like identification, like jewelry, of course. So make sure that you check everywhere in your cruise ship cabin before you get off. Number 9, packing mistakes. Now, sometimes we get so good at packing everything up that we forget to leave some important things out. So some important things to make sure that you do not pack and that you have them for the last night of your cruise and for disembarkation morning are travel clothes. You also want to make sure that you've left out some sleepwear. Of course, make sure that you've left out your medication, also your passport, and keep your cruise card handy. When you get off the cruise ship, you have to do a final checkout of the cruise ship, so you do need to have that cruise card handy. Number 10, not planning for transportation after you disembark. Now, you can definitely still get an Uber or get a cab once you disembark, but you do really kind of want to give it a little bit of thought before you get off the cruise ship. Now, in some cases, you might be better off getting a transfer going directly to the airport. If you have a very early flight, this not only will be the most convenient, but it is your best chance of getting off that cruise ship as early as possible. Now, if you have a later flight, something else that you might want to do is book a last day excursion that you can book through the cruise line. The benefit of those excursions is you'll have your excursion, but you'll also have transportation to the airport, and you can store your luggage in the coach bus during the tour. So that might be something cost effective and a nice way to end your cruise. Now, I hope that you found this video helpful. I'm going to leave the information all about the Ultimate Cruise Planner linked down below in the description of this video, but I would love to hear from you. What are some of your debarkation day mistakes that you may have made before, or any tips that you can share? I know that will be super helpful. And I'm also going to leave a video right after this one all about embarkation day and tips that I know you'll be able to use. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.